The Proton Pack is not a toy.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Proton Pack is not a toy. My name is Matt, and today we are going to be checking out the props that came with the Hasbro 2-in-the-box set. I've got the PKE meter right here and the trap here at my feet, and so we are going to look at these just kind of briefly. My kids are getting out of school for Christmas break and within the next hour or two, and I know once they're out, I'm not going to be able to really give a good breakdown of these. So this is going to be kind of a quick, not a whole lot of depth review of these items, but I'm also going to compare them to some of the other traps and PKE meters that I have previously purchased, just to kind of give you an idea how these compare to what's already been available in the marketplace, and then kind of give you my feel on, are these the best that have been made available up to this point? So that's the plan for this video. Don't expect it to be an hour-long kind of really deep dive breakdown. I know Jason from Ghostbusters News has had his for like a month and has done great stuff on his channel to show how you can put like the smoke effects and stuff into the trap. I personally haven't gone and watched anybody else's reviews or breakdowns, so I'm not really even sure what everybody else is saying. So this is just purely my own thoughts. I'm not going to be parroting anything else that any other people are saying. So let's get into it. I'm going to start with the PKE meter. Really, so far, have enjoyed this one. I was a little afraid when I opened it. It had the little thing around it like this, and as soon as I slid it off, one of the arms popped all the way up before I had batteries in it, and it wouldn't set back into place. I was afraid that it may have broken before I even put anything into it and touched it at all. But I found that as soon as I got it in, I got the batteries in it, looked at the instructions a little bit, kind of figured out how to set it at 90 degrees one at a time, that it goes from the taser mode back to PKE meter mode pretty easily. So my favorite mode to have it on is the EMF mode, and I think it's really good in terms of just the way that it can move around on its own without having to push a button to cause it to move. That just creates a new level of fun that none of the other ones really have had. They may have been like on a timer where you push it and it kind of goes up and down and it goes through the sequence and then it's over. This one, having the two different modes, just the normal play mode and the EMF mode, and the different buttons that do different things, I do enjoy that. The sounds are correct, or as correct as we have ever had in any of these PKE meters that have been made available. Up to this point, my favorite had been the Mattel Metacollector PKE meter, but the big drawback on that one was the noise that it made, the sounds. These are way more movie accurate, and so that makes me happy that Hasbro has gotten it right on this one. I am more of a purist, and so purist might not be the right word. I prefer the props that go back to the first two movies. Not saying anything bad about Afterlife or Frozen Empire, but this PKE meter has the switch on the back to put it into taser mode, obviously, and that's a fun feature with it and stuff. But if I had to make a decision on my own to pick one or the other, if we had the option of ordering them one way or another, I would have ordered it without the taser mode. But it's there, it's fun, it's not too much in the way. For mine, it works. I did see some people on Instagram saying that theirs didn't work all that great, or seemed to not trigger correctly, but it's fun. The buttons do different things based on what mode you have it in. And then the trick is to get one of these to click into place. This is where I run into trouble. So you're supposed to be able to click. These side hinges kick out And once that one's in, then you're supposed to be able to put this one in, and then it fixes itself. Okay, great. And then you're back on normal PKE meter mode, which is great. So that's fun. This is the mode that I enjoy. It does have the switches right here where you can put it on mute, or you can have the effects on the screen go a different direction. I like it. This is a good toy, a good model, and perk that came with it is that it does come with its own holster to put on your belt. And so if you are brave enough to take an item this expensive with you on your belt for cosplay, Halloween and stuff, it does have that, fits in there. You can easily button it in there, fits on your belt. And I like that that was included in the part of the purchase. So now, before I switch over to the traps, let's kind of compare it to the ones we've had before. Before I jump into that, I do need to mention it does come with its own stand as well. So my previous ones always had them just laying on a shelf in the background. Now this one can have the stand and hold it up, and even if you're showing it off to your friends and you don't want it to be something that you're holding the whole time, you can have it sitting there. You can have it running with the arms going up and down. Cool party trick opportunities with that, or just a good display opportunity. So I do enjoy that that came with it. So big perks. Comes with stand, comes with holster, makes the correct sounds. If you do like having multiple movie options with the taser effect on there, that is cool. It's got weight to it. Now let's go back to kind of comparing it to some of the other ones. So size-wise, it's very similar to the Matty Collector one, which is this one right here. This is from about 2010, so almost 15 years ago. And up to this point, this one has been my favorite. I do have batteries in it, so I will kind of activate it here. Right off, you can hear the beeps and how that is different from, I turned it off, let me turn it back on. This is PKE meter noise. This is not. And this has a mute function on it as well, so you can turn it off. You can turn off the light or switch it from a different angle. The buttons top and bottom tended to do the same things. You had fully raised, half raised, and then all the way down were the only options on that. Like I said, you can mute it, you can hold the buttons down and cause it to have different effects on the screen. And for what we've had up to that point, also you could change the light sequences on the side. So it's Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2. Very cool detail for the time for them to have that involved in it. Had to buy my own holster for it, never had a display stand for it. I feel like I'm talking over the annoying beeping that always took away from that item. Also on the back, this one to put batteries in, easy access panel, one screw, pop them in, get them ready. This one has no access panel. You have to take out 2 screws at the top, 2 screws at the bottom, and then this whole back plate comes off because there's a battery here, and 2 down here. Really weird way to put the batteries in for something like this. I guess it was just the way they were trying to utilize the space. And that, as I was getting ready for this video, annoyed me again, that you have to take them all the way off and put them all the way back on. Going back to turn it back on, the other feature this one had was you can speed it up with this roller that is on the back here. And that's how you would change how the sequence of the lights and the sounds updated there. Cheaper alternative has been this one that you could buy in the Halloween shops. I'm not sure if it's Spirit Halloween or something disguised, whatever it is. I do have this one, battery ready to go as well. This is the cheap version. So you get more of the ghost moaning sound. Again, beeping that's not quite right. You can see the gears on the inside. And then eventually it stops, goes down, lights off, immediately shuts down. And instead of a holster, it's got a belt clip set up for you right there so you can hook it on. This is more for just your average Halloween, quick, put it together, a few bucks out of your pocket. Does the trick. It's Ghostbusters. You can tell that's what it's supposed to be, but lower end of the scale. So as far as things go, it's down to, for me, between these two. I've never built my own, so I don't have one to compare to that. But as far as these go, the weight, the sounds that are correct, the fun features, the ability to have it where the arms kind of go independently without having to push the buttons, that's what takes this one over the top, and for me is the best PKE meter in my collection up to this point. So very happy with this one. For me, this makes me happy with the purchase before we even get to the trap. Okay, I wouldn't pay $300 just for this, but for what it costs, I consider this to be about $125 worth of that. 300, as much goes into the trap. Seems to be about where it would balance out. That's about what I'd be happy to pay with this for this on its own. Let's get over to the traps. Okay, new trap. One of the first things I noticed was the holster that came with it. That's great. It's really good. Nice to have a holster. Thing is heavy. It's metal. It's not going to bend. You put it on your belt. And again, if you're brave enough to carry this around in a convention or at a bar at Halloween or whatever you're doing, going up and down the street, kids grabbing at it, that's your decision if you want to do that. I'm kind of to the point now where I'm more protective of my things than rather the way I want to look with how things go. So let me lean over and pick this up. Again, the weight. Not the time weight, as long as it took. No, I'm talking about heaviness. So this thing has some girth to it. It's substantial. I've got it on the little display stand right now, which again is cool that is an option. It kind of goes with the other ones that we've gotten from the Hasbro Plasma Series prop line, and I like that it fits in the look and kind of matches with what we got with the wand, the proton pack, all of the things that have already been put out so far. Even the pedal itself has got weight to it. It feels heavy. It feels like it's important. Like it's not just a throwaway part that they added to it just to be able to turn on the trap and open it up. The included stickers that are already on there, you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. I do like that it did have, as it comes off, it did have the different rods for the sides. You'll see that I have switched. You can use the red, you can use the silver, and I did like the fact that having different ones just for show is cool, but they also have different sounds that go with the ghost that you will hear when it is open. That is a cool trick to be able to put that in and include that as part of the deal. Go ahead and turn it on. It has, I haven't played with this in a couple of days, so forgive me if I'm doing things the wrong way. One way that you turn it has the motor on, and then one way that you turn it or flip the switch has the same effects but without the rumble motor. And then you have the different dials that actually affect sound, speed, different noises that you will hear. The one on the side, you get different ghost sounds as it's sitting there. That is cool. But the main thing is, how does it open and close? I do like that it's got the little grate here that kind of covers it and kind of hides the whole inside of it there. And it's very good. I do like the sequence of the beeps, the lights, how everything works like that. Connects with what's going on the foot pedal. And even the metal connectors in between the two components. And if you have them separate from each other, it does have the more accurate looking plastic parts that you can put on there to make it look more like the ones that are from the actual prop. So I do enjoy that. That's the turn off sound. This is outstanding. The only thing, the wheels feel a little clunky and tall. It feels like it sits a little too high compared to other traps that I've seen. They just feel really big, but they do want it to have the ability to roll well. So I get that having to maybe make a few concessions on that for play ability might be a good thing. The Danger logo on the back looks a little big to me, but that's being picky. And I don't know how well the handle is going to hold up because, like I said, the whole thing feels really heavy, and I would be nervous hanging on to it just by the handle. And again, one thing I didn't talk about is it has this button on the back, and so it's got a mode where you can, let's call it service mode, go in there, and if you wanted to put the little grate inside, you'd be able to do that. If you're putting in some kind of smoke effects to hide it right there, then you don't have to time it while it's open. It's a good prop, it's a good toy. So, and I said the word prop, I am happy with this as is. I know that they are offering some pieces that you can get on GB fans to put the actual metal parts on here and the other components to make it more 100% accurate. The hose is a little plain, so you could add a little bit to that with the split loom. Those things you can do to make it over the top, closer accuracy than what you get straight out of the box from the toy company. And that's okay, you can add to that if you want. For me, I'm gonna keep it the way it is right here. Now, it's got the V-hook on the back, which is good, and that goes with the belt hanger, whatever you want to call it, the holster. Now, again, Mattel had the most, I don't say accurate, the most fun one up to this point. So Matty Collector, almost 15 years ago, had this one. Power's on. This lights up. Push. Different colors. So this is one thing this one has over the other one. Different colors. A sequence of opening and closing. And then we get a similar light pattern to what happens on the Hasbro trap. And it'll start beeping here in a second with the flashing light. So pretty similar to the effects that we got on the basic open and close feature on the Hasbro trap. You can see it's more plastic, not as much weight to it. It did have the two bars on the side that you could change out. I have red on this one, but I do have the silver ones in a box. This one did have a decently easy component on the bottom with a plate to be able to get the batteries in, different from their PKE meter, so that wasn't as big of a deal. And the stickers on this one weren't as accurate as what we ended up getting on the new trap. So that's that one. No display stand, did not come with a holster. Ended up buying a custom one from someone on GB Fans years ago. Cheap alternative is your Halloween store one. Again, this was just one, it was just a push button, no pedal, open and close. It does have an on-off feature. I don't have a battery in it, so it's not going to do anything, but it did have some lights, some sound. Again, not a whole lot going on with it. Belt clip, so you don't have to have a holster for it. but this is the cheap, fun alternative if you're just a Halloween Ghostbuster. Does the trick, has the look, people know what it is, that's the point. So does this measure up to either of the previous two I've talked about here? No, but it's not really intended to. One of the other ones I have to show you here is this one is a 3D printed one that I made last year. Didn't completely complete it to the point of having any lights and sounds, so it's just a belt hanger. It's supposed to look pretty, and pretty happy with the way that it turned out. You can see the wheels are a bit lower profile than what we ended up with in the Hasbro one. Here I am about to pick it up by the handle, and I just don't feel confident or comfortable doing that. Let me take off the bottom part here and unhook it. The 3-pin connector thing feels pretty secure. So if I were to put on the back end there to kind of hide that connector. So this is my 3D printed one. This is the one that came from Hasbro, and see the wheels, how much bigger they're on the Hasbro one. Did not have a V-hook on the bottom of this one, but I did that on purpose. And so they are pretty similar. This is supposed to be more of a GB2 one, so it has a different knob on the side. This build for this one, between the parts, the metal parts that I got, and the little components, the knobs and things, and all of the time and filament that went into making this one, it probably came out to, I don't even remember how much, but over $100 worth of stuff going into that. And so very much comparable to what we would get with this as it comes. This didn't have a pedal, this one does. This works, lights, sounds, fun features, display stand, holster, all kinds of fun stuff. Totally worth the money, totally happy with it. And question is this my favorite trap ever? It might be tied with this one, because come on, that's cool. Back in the day, putting a ghost right there in the middle, you push it, it shoots the ghost up, you hold it open long enough to where it like falls into the trap and goes in. Nothing beat that when you're like 8 years old, right? So it's right there as one of my favorites. Some of the things that I did not particularly like or didn't really make a big difference to me, as far as not making a big difference, I really don't care about the stickers and the patches. It's cool that they're a part of that. The poster that comes with it, that's the blueprint. Okay, great, something to hang on your wall. Fun pack-ins, some people appreciate that kind of thing. Did not make a difference one way or another for me. So great that it's there. It's not there. I'm here to buy the props. That kind of stuff as a pack-in doesn't increase the value of it to me. The manual, not super helpful. I really wish it didn't have 15 different languages for every step to be able to try to explain to us what each of these things are, so that it would have had more room to show you, hey, on the PKE meter, if you push this button, this is exactly what you're going to get out of it. It's so basic and short that you kind of have to figure it out on your own, which is kind of fun, because then you get the playability of playing through it a few times. But when you're not really sure on how to get the arms to go down, and you're trying to decipher the pseudo IKEA instruction manual on how to get it to work, that can be a little frustrating if you don't feel like that you're doing it right, and you're afraid that you're going to break your prop. So I really wish there would have been maybe another pack-in thing that showed the play features list on the trap, and as you turn the dial between the red rods and the silver rods, the different voices that you'd hear from the ghost, or the light effects, anything like that, so that I'm not missing something that's cool that's packed into it just because I haven't gotten to figure it out on my own. So really wish this would have been better. This is one of my biggest disappointments with it is, and if that's the case, that's a good thing from Hasbro. Is like, if this is what disappoints me and I'm happy with the rest, that's great, because I'm not buying it for the instruction manual. I just wish it would have been a little more helpful. The box that it came in, I have off to the side, so securely packaged within almost, by the time you get to the props, they're in 4 different boxes, and lots of built-in, I won't say styrofoam because it's not, but it's more of a cardboard kind of thing that holds it nice and tight within the box. I'll never be able to put them back in there again the same way they were, because they're very not real sure on exactly how the trap stuff would go back in there, because when I took it out I wasn't paying attention, but that's okay. They've got display stands. That's where I'm going to keep them as it goes anyway. So I've talked for almost 30 minutes. I'm happy with it. I'm glad that I bought it. $300 was a good deal. If you're able to buy one third party somehow and get it around the same price, then you should be happy with it for around 300 bucks. They do look like they're going to be good and last for a while, but I would be careful with it, especially with the handle on the trap. And then also just be careful if you're going to have it on your belt and you're going to a convention, or you're going to be around kids and Halloween or things of that nature. Be careful with this stuff, because it's not something that you can go back to Spirit Halloween and buy another one if something happens to it, or if a kid sticks their hand in the trap and the motor's running, it starts breaking the gears or slipping, then you're kind of out of luck at that point. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's your stuff. Do with it what you want to do. As far as those of you who are still waiting to get yours because of shipping problems, or just it hasn't made it there yet, then be excited about it. They look like they're going to be fun, nice companions to what we've already gotten from Hasbro with the Proton Pack that I've got sitting right over there. Actually, that one. And it fits in line with the quality and playability that those have provided up to this point. So is it a screen accurate prop that is 100% made with the same items and stuff that they would have used when they made the original items? No, but those items, also keep in mind, didn't actually move and make sounds and have the lights that were as reliable as this. They were on remotes. They were supposed to last as long as they were for a prop in a movie, and then it wasn't supposed to be a long-term thing. These, to be able to pack in, especially in the trap, the lights and the sounds and the movability, and even able to go in and be able to put the smoke in there as an added feature, is really good. And they had different props that did that for the movies, so your smoking trap wouldn't be the same opening trap or whatever, as far as the props would go. And I didn't even talk about how on this one it does actually slide open, so you can take out the cartridge and then you can go with the whole containment unit deal. And then it pops right back in, and it makes a sound, and it was off. That's cool, right? So be happy with it. I'm happy with it. You can make your own decision, but that's my decision. I'm 30 minutes in. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Always appreciate you watching. The Proton Pack is not a toy, and I hope you enjoy your holiday season. I probably won't have anything new coming up before the end of the year. Hopefully I'll be able to share some stuff with you coming in 2025. Thanks as always for checking out the channel, and have a great holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate season, and we'll do the same here. Appreciate you guys. Bye.
The Proton Pack is not a toy.